if you have not seen the brand new relaunched Capital Couture, just go to capitalcouture.pn, and I encourage everyone to spend a lot of time just kind of flipping through the entire issue because it's so full of stuff and there's a lot of really neat things to explore. Some of the highlights, I think, let's go to the panel and we can see what your highlights are, assuming you have read the spring issue. Tiffany, have you perused the new Capital Couture issue? And if so, what were some of your favorite parts of it?
Let's see. I haven't really perused it, but I've and that means to look very closely at. But I've kind of glanced at it a little bit. I really like all the things that they're doing with Elizabeth Banks, and like kind of stepping Effie up from the last round of Capital Couture with her. So, and I do like a lot of the, very modern fashion choices that they're showing on there as well. Like the huge scarf, like I dreamed to make that scarf.
That scarf is amazing. And the scarf is one of the things that they have in this issue is a section with looks for each district, and that this big scarf is the district, or it's part of the District 8 look. And yeah, there's a lot of fabric involved, as Tiffany just hinted at. So definitely go check that out. Kait, how do you feel about this spring issue of Capital Couture? Is there anything that you particularly love?
I think in general they did a really good job of setting it, just stepping it up from the first, I don't even want to say issue because it wasn't really an issue the last time around. It was just kind of like a Tumblr blog, and I know it's still on Tumblr, but the way they have it set up is much more fashion magazine oriented, and it plays out a whole lot better. And I really like the Capital looks and the District looks, and it is like a real fashion magazine in the sense that they have, the blurb that's like, oh, isn't this outfit fabulous? Wouldn't it be amazing? And you're like, dear God, who would ever wear that? And I according to the Capital.pn, am in District 10, and that's like a giant jacket with these huge horns coming out of the shoulders and like skin-tight tie-dye-ish leather pants that, I'm sorry, my butt just is not going to fit into that. So it's really funny to see what they come up with for those things.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said about them stepping it up and making it like a real fashion magazine. And I think it's really interesting how they've taken the Capital and it's a little scary, to be honest, kind of thinking back to last week's conversation, but they've sort of taken the Capital and seamlessly blended it into real life because they're featuring, fashion designers who are real people who contributed to the designs in the film. There's a bit of a feature on Trish Somerville. Trish Somerville is actually sort of referred to as a Capital designer. So it's sort of like everything is in character, and it's written as if these fashion designers are actually Capital designers. It's quite interesting. And I loved what you mentioned about the quotes, because one of the sections in this spring issue is about Katniss's wedding dress. And I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you, but my favorite part of the wedding dress piece was the quotes from the Capital citizens and the Capital designers. So I will just share a couple of those with you. We've spoken to some of the Capital's brightest designing lights, and here's what they had to say about the dress you helped choose. Absolutely brilliant, said Struve Duncan. A high fashion explosion. Magic is real, said Delphi Rollo, and Katniss is wearing it. Briar Vipoint had even more effusive praise. It's full of such cosmopolitan elegance, he said. A poem made of fabric. So that's a little bit of what you can expect. It's all very much in character. Arianna, what about you? Have you had a chance to look through Chroma Nouveau?
Yeah, like I haven't necessarily like read it at all, but I've been looking at all the pictures and like how in the world do they think of all these outfits? Like I don't know if you guys have seen the one by Mark Goldberg, and it's all like it looks like it's kind of arrows like shooting out of her dress, and it's so strange looking, but it kind of works for the Capitol. But it's just I love the fashion.
Yeah, it's like the yarn. It's so weird.
Yeah, it looks, I don't know why it reminds me of like Austin Powers or something like that, like the Fembots, but that's what it reminds me of.
I could see.
Oh my gosh.
It's because of the way the cloth jumps out of the upper region.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put that.
So Adam, last week when we talked about how heavily they're using the Capitol in marketing for these films, we kind of talked about how, not everyone is into fashion, Do you feel like you can get excited about a website like Capital Couture? Like, were you interested in it? Did you go check it out as soon as it was launched? What is your reaction then to all of this?
I'll be honest. I thought the coolest thing about this when I first went there, and this is such a lame thing, was
I already know what you're going to say.
Scrolling my mouse over the letters. I thought that was really cool. Is that what you thought I was going to say?
That.
Yeah. Because Crystal
awesome.
Crystal and I had the same reaction. I think we both kind of sat there, like before we even went and checked out the issue, we sat there for like a few minutes just moving the mouse around because the effect was so neat with the flowers kind of exploding out of the cursor. It was very cool. Crystal, are you with us yet?
I was really relieved that you were doing the exact same thing as I was, because I thought, oh, this is so stupid. I'm just sitting here making the flowers pop up all over the place, and then I mentioned it to you, and you're like, oh, I'm doing the same thing.
So apparently that was like kind of a universal reaction, so we are not too weird. What were some of the highlights from the spring issue of Capital Couture for you? Other than the flowers.
I feel a little bad, but not, because I know that it's okay to laugh at the Capitol, because the Capitol, right? They do outrageous things. But the eggplant dress, oh my God. Okay, that just cracked me up. Did you see that one?
I don't think I saw that one. I have not looked at all of it, to be honest.
It was a dress made out of slices of eggplant. I don't know. I mean,
was that the District 11 look?
I don't remember what district it was, but I mean, just the fit in general, it looked like they put a ton of work into it
right now. So somehow I must have missed that. Do you guys know what she's talking about? The eggplant outfit?
I probably didn't realize it was eggplant, but I might have seen it. Like, I don't stop and think, that looks like an eggplant. So I probably had no idea. I mean, I don't cook. I don't even know what an eggplant really looks like. Let's be honest.
I'll try looking for it, and I'll say something when I find it.
I actually thought that the District 9 one was pretty cool. They have, I don't even know how to describe it, but they have like, what do you call them? Like bundles of wheat kind of strapped to their head. I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I can't find the eggplant one.
Okay, click on cover stories, and then scroll all the way to the bottom, District 11.
I don't even see cover stories. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay.
Oh, oh, I didn't realize that was what it was.
I didn't realize it was eggplant either. It looks really cool, though. This kind of reminds me of a challenge they would do on Project Runway. They've done challenges in the past where they had to create dresses like using organic materials found at the grocery store. That's what this makes me think of. Did you have any other highlights, Crystal?
Not really. I didn't really look at everything, but I mean, I did think the horn one, like somebody else mentioned, was really weird.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that is just so much fun to take the time to explore and, kind of really read everything, because so much effort was put into everything. Like I said, it's all in character. They've taken our world and totally blended it into the Capitol. One of the highlights for me was the day in the life of Effie Trinket feature, and it's just really funny. Basically, it follows Effie, like, on an average day in her life and what she does at each hour of the day. And, of course, it's all very ridiculous and superficial, but there are some amazing quotes in this piece. I think my favorite one is, "When your job is being you," says Effie, "there is never a day off." I just thought that was really hilarious. Another great thing in this spring issue is a sneak peek of Effie's Victory Tour wardrobe by Trish Somerville. And, of course, they are referring to Trish Somerville as a Capitol designer, which is funny. She's the costume designer for the film, obviously. And, one other thing to mention, there is a challenge that fans can do. It's called Capitol Challenge Red Carpet Look. And it says, styling oneself for a red carpet at a Capitol elite event is one of the most stressful yet sought-after opportunities. Say you get a coveted invite to the biggest event of the year, President Snow's Victory Tour culmination party. What would your red carpet look entail? Show and tell by tagging your look, hashtag Capitol Red Carpet, or send it to us directly. Who knows? Maybe we'll see you there. It's really vague. I don't quite know exactly what they're going to do with these pictures or what they're looking for, but that's something that you can participate in if you would like.